Hi Agni, how are you?
Hi, sir. I'm doing good. How are you all doing?
We are also great. Where are you from?
I'm from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh.
Okay. You're also from UP, right?
Yeah.
Good thanks. So, what subjects did you had in your 11th and 12th?
I had science along with biology.
Can you define the three laws of Newton?
Yeah, sir. So the three laws, the first law is the law of inertia, the second law is law of momentum, and the third law is law of equal and opposite reaction.
Okay, what is inertia?
So inertia is basically, I would define the law of inertia. So if an object is in motion, it would remain in motion until and unless an external force is applied to basically stop it. And similarly, it goes for any object which is at rest. If until and unless any external force is applied, the object would remain at rest.
Can you state an example?
So the general example would be a moving ball. So the ball would remain moving in the moving state until and unless any friction on the surface on which it is rolling would be applied. So for example, if the surface would be completely slippery, then the ball wouldn't stop. But because it is basically rolling on any surface which has friction like grass or something else, it would eventually stop.
Can you state an example of a perfectly slippery object?
Sir, perfectly slippery object, as in the lubrication would be applied on, say, glass or something, so it wouldn't be.
Glasses are perfectly.
Sir, it would have some sort of friction, but we can try to minimize it.
Okay. Can you state the Faraday's law? You know what Faraday's law is?
Sir, I cannot recollect it exactly, but what I can remember, I would tell. So Faraday's laws was basically about a conductor being in a magnetic field, and when it is there in the magnetic field, it generates electromotive force. That is the EMF. So that is what I can recall.
Can you write the equation?
No, sir, I'm sorry, I cannot recollect.
Generations. So, Anvi, you had biology, right?
Yeah.
So, why are you pursuing IPM program?
Sir, after pursuing biology in my plus 2 level, I eventually realized this is not my calling, and I wanted to get into the field of management. And IPM program is basically giving me that opportunity to enter into it directly. So that's the reason why I'm interested.
Okay, so you decided it when you took the PCB subject.
No, sir. After I completed my board examination of class 2, then I realized.
Okay, Sonny, how old are you?
Sir, I am currently 18 years old.
Do you know what prime numbers are?
Yes, sir. Sir, any number that has only two factors, that is the number itself, and 1.
Okay, so you are 18 years old, right? So tell me number that is co-prime with 18.
Sir, 17 would be co-prime with 18. So because co-prime numbers are basically two numbers which do not have any other factor in common apart from 1.
So can you tell me all the co-prime numbers that are less than 18 that are co-prime with 18?
Yes, sir. So 3 would be there.
3 would be there.
Sorry, sir. 3 wouldn't be there. 5 would be there. Then 7 would be there. 11 would be there. 13 would be there. 15, 17.
Numbers in total?
5, some.
Okay, I did not count.
Okay, so you had biology? Yes, son. Okay, which portion of biology you liked the most? Ma'am, basically I liked studying about cell division. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how many types of cell division are there? Ma'am, it's basically, I think, mitosis and meiosis. Cell division are there. You think or you know? Ma'am, actually I had a 1-year gap I basically studied at Delhi University for 1 year. So I had a break of 1 year. So I cannot recollect all my science subjects at the moment exactly. But as far as I recollect, I'll inform you.
Which subject did you study in Delhi University?
I had economics along with human resource management.
Economics with HR.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you define Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yeah, so basically in Maslow's hierarchy of need, it's a pyramid wherein all the needs of an human are enlisted. Like, say, there are needs related to revelation. Then there are needs related to, say, the basic amenities that a body need, like a shelter or home. So it's basically a pyramid along with all the divisions, and they are sequenced in a order. Like, the bottommost are the ones that every human being requires primarily.
Name all of them.
I cannot recollect all of them, so.
Okay. If the tax is increased by the government, will the burden go on the consumers or the sellers?
The consumers would bear the cost.
Every time?
So most of the times, the product's cost is increased so as to compensate for the sellers who have to pay the taxes. And that way the consumer basically have to give more of the money. Sir, equilibrium point in a market is a point wherein the demand and the supply are equal.
Fake. Let's continue.
Okay. So, what are the differences between mitosis and meiosis? Can you name any three of the differences?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I can recollect two differences, so I'll state them. Meiosis is basically division of the cell into 4 daughter cells. Mitosis, it's basically division into 2 daughter cells. And in meiosis, the chromosomes are halved, and in mitosis, it isn't.
Okay. Are you sure about the chromosome part?
Ma'am, I'm sure about meiosis. Mitosis, I might not be correct. Of the second one.
So Shivanshu asked you that you were from PCB, but still you took management. You're trying to pursue management. So my question to you is, what if after doing management, you realize that this is not your thing, and then you want to jump onto some other thing? So doesn't this show that you were not good at making decisions?
Ma'am, I would say life is about exploring all the domains, and a lot of people do pursue MBA, and at the end of the day, they realize it isn't their calling. So there are a lot of cricket commentators who did their MBA from IMA, but they realized that this isn't their calling. So they switched. So at the moment, I feel MBA is my calling, management studies, and I am about to pursue it. And hopefully it's the right decision for my life. But let's see where it takes me.
Okay, one more follow-up question. If in between, while you're doing the course, you realize that you have some other calling, then will you leave management?
Ma'am,
One seat will go waste in our college.
Ma'am, basically I'm choosing this IPM program because a lot of subjects other than management are also taught. So it would help me in identifying what kind of fields are there in the world, and maybe I could be interested in say, philosophy or psychology. So after doing my BBA, if I have a calling towards that, I would think about pursuing it further and leaving MBA. That is a possibility, ma'am.
Okay, Anvi. So you told us that you come from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, right? So tell me more about your city.
So basically, Kanpur is famous for leather exporting, and we have lot of tanneries over there. Mainly, the famous one is Mirza Tannery, and they are the owner of the Allen Group. So you might be aware of the brand Allen Solly. So Allen Solly is basically their brand only. And Kanpur, I would say it has a lot of historical importance. When you talk about the revolt of like the first independence movement, I would say 1857. Yeah, so Kanpur has played a pivotal role in that. Because Nana Sahib basically hailed from Kanpur.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So do you know any battle that happened in or around Kanpur?
I'm not aware about the small battles, but when we talk about the 1857 Battle of Jhansi, so Jhansi is basically in the closer periphery of Kanpur only. Yeah.
So you said that 1857 revolt was the first war of independence for India, right?
There were a lot of battles going on around the whole nation, but it was like a synchronized effort on a huge level, I would say.
So there are many historians who believe that the revolt of 1857 was the first, concentrated and organized fight against the Britishers. But still we failed. Can you list some reasons, according to you, as to why India or the princely states failed to defeat the Britishers?
Are you sure about this? Does it have any relation with other things like demand and supply? What is an equilibrium point?
In the revolt of Jhansi, the queen basically tried to, get all of those princely states, most of those princely states in her side. But unfortunately, what Britishers did was they offered lucrative separate offers to the princely state rulers, and they basically failed to identify, okay, what we are doing right now isn't good for the nation itself. So they had some sort of greed, and because of that the whole revolt kind of failed.
Okay, so do you think this is the main reason?
So this is the reason I can identify.
Do you know what was the actual reason why that 1857 revolt started? There were a few reasons. There were not just one reason. There were various reasons. Can you list some of them?
I think the last Mughal ruler was basically dethroned at that time, and that was kind of one of the reasons because of which a lot of rulers were against it. Like, because Mughals have been ruling in India for a lot of centuries.
So you yourself said that there were a lot of princely states. So the revolt of 1857 was between various princely states and Britishers. Are you aware of the Sepoy Mutiny that happened within the British Army? Mangal Pandey, have you heard of him?
Yeah, I have heard of him, but
So this is how the revolt of 1857 started. There were a lot of other reasons. The reason why the state of Jhansi and a lot of princely states started their revolt against Britishers was because they were against a policy which stated that if they don't have any legal heir to the throne, the Britishers will take the state. So the Jhansi state did not have any crowned prince. That's why they were revolting against the Britishers. At the same time, there was a mutiny within the British army where there were Brahmin and Hindu soldiers who refused to use the pork-filled bullets cartridge.
Nice.
So that's why the revolt started, and there were various reasons. One of them was instability. So all of this transpired into one big revolution, and the reason we lost was not, as you mentioned, there were greed. Of course, the Britishers were trying to divide the nation and getting some of them on their side. The main reason was all the battles that happened were very separated. Just like there is a revolt happening, the revolt of Jhansi. After 3 months, there was some other revolt. So they were not very organized. That's the reason they lost. And that was the biggest learning that many of the other freedom fighters got. That if we have to fight against Britishers,
we have to channelize in the same direction.
okay. So do you guys want to ask anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So apart from academics, Anvi, what were your interests?
Ma'am, I like to paint, and in my free time, I also like to read books.
Okay. So can you suggest me a book to read?
Ma'am, why will you suggest that particular book? Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, I would suggest that you should read A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini. So it's a beautiful novel. It's a story about 2 women living in the war-torn country of Afghanistan, and the tale basically portrays the story and the conflicts of women, and the war-torn country basically is beautifully personified in that novel. And I would say it's basically about having that that passion to pursue something without thinking about the surrounding. So it's a motivating novel, so I would suggest that.
Okay. Talking about painting. So, do you know where Mona Lisa is kept right now?
Yeah, ma'am. It's kept in a museum in Paris named Louvre, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Okay. And why did Mona Lisa become so famous?
Ma'am, there were a lot of controversies around the painting. So the main I would recall was her smile. I think it was also stolen at some point of time, and that time a lot of audience basically got to know about the painting, and then they started gathering and seeing it.
So, Anvi, when you suggested the book, Little Sandy, you said that a war-torn country was beautifully represented. Can I know how a war-torn country can be represented beautifully?
See, sir, in all the war-torn countries, there are people living. And each and every person's life is beautiful, I would say, because each and every person has the world around them. And in that story, it's basically is showcased that Afghanistan and its war is the backdrop. But the person who are living there, they have their entire life in front of them. And despite all the adversities, they still have to live it. And how they live it and how they face the challenges in their daily life. So that is beautifully portrayed in that novel.
Okay. So, Anvi, do you have any knowledge about politics?
Yes, sir, a little bit about politics. Not all, but yes, some of the headlines.
So, every now and then we keep hearing about the communal violence in Kanpur. So, do you have any idea as to why Kanpur is the center of such violent activities?
So, Kanpur has a good population of Muslims as well as Hindus. So, a lot of political leaders basically use the vote bank politics to get Hindus on their sides or Muslims on their side. And then they basically kind of try to perpetrate violence there. And also BJP is currently, BJP is leading Uttar Pradesh right now. So there are a lot of BJP leaders who do not, I would say, treat Muslims equally to the rest of the population of India. And at times, these are the conflicts that are going on there. And these kind of give rise to conflicts.
So, you are saying the Muslim population of Kanpur and Uttar Pradesh in general are not being treated equally by the ruling party?
This is what is being felt by a lot of Muslims in Uttar Pradesh.
No, so you said it. So, do you have any story or anything that suggests that this is the case?
Anecdotes to back it up.
Ma'am, there are a lot of MLAs who now and then comment about Islam, if you are in a position of power or authority, you should have that mindset to treat each and every religion with utmost respect. But when we pass some of the comments which are not actually in favor of Islam, I would say, or is basically disrespecting the other religion, then people belonging to that religion get offended.
Okay. So, you don't have any particular incident?
No, sir, I cannot recollect right now, but there were a lot of MLAs that were, yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay. So, okay, I'm done. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I'll just conclude.
Okay.
Anvi, who's the governor of Uttar Pradesh?
Sir, it's Anandiben Patel.
Okay, and how many districts are there in Uttar Pradesh?
I'm not sure, sir.
Wishes. Can you name the foreign minister?
Jaishankar, Mr. Jaishankar.
Sis Jaishankar.
I can recall a session.
Recently, UP's MLA was in news. Do you know the reason? Or any other news?
Is it related to Sir Bridge Bhushan?
Okay, yeah.
Um,
About
Sir, basically, the wrestlers of India, like prominently 3 wrestlers, Vinesh Fogart, Sakshi Malik, and Bajrang Punia, were protesting against this MLA Bridge Bhushan because he was basically he was involved in a lot of sexual assault related cases, and
he involved or was?
so the protest was about this, that the protest was accused him. Sir, right now what the proceedings are going on, I would comment on that. So initially the police wasn't in favor of writing the FIR, but eventually after this protest got into media and everything, so they wrote about the FIR, the police took the FIR, and then recently video recordings of a lot of games that were held across the world have been, the countries have been asked to get those to India so that the further proceedings of the case can be continued.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. What is 0 by 1?
Infinity.
What is 1 by 0?
Oh, sorry, 0 by 1, it's 0. 1 by 0 is infinity, sir.
1 by 0 is infinite.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes,
What is 2 by 0?
infinity.
Thank you so much, Annie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so most of the times when she tackled the question, बहुत अच्छे से tackle किया. जैसे कि एक चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लगी मुझे कि जिन चीज़ों में she was बहुत ज़्यादा unsure, जैसे अगर किसी भी चीज़ में आपको 85% से ज़्यादा श्योरिटी नहीं है तो आप बात घुमाने की जगह सीधे सीधे बोल दो कि आई एम सॉरी, आई डू नॉट नो मच अबाउट दिस, या फिर जितना पता है उतना बोलो और बोलो बट आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर ऑफ दिस. सो यू शुड नॉट बीट अराउंड द बुश. दूसरी चीज़ ये, हर posture, dressing, the hair was done really good. So all these things you need to notice. Also, the way she was using her hand gestures, जब किसी बात पे emphasize करना था, so she was using her hands really wisely and properly. So you can also learn this from her.
तो मेरा ओवरऑल फीडबैक यही रहेगा कि ऑल्दो द इंटरव्यू वाज गुड, कुछ चीज़ें थी, कुछ रिस्पॉन्सेज थे जिसमें वो कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं थे, फिर भी उन्होंने ऐसा बताया कि वो फुली कॉन्फिडेंट है. फॉर एग्जांपल जब मैंने पूछा कि आपको पॉलिटिक्स की नॉलेज है तो उन्होंने बोला येस. देन साहिल ने पूछा कि हु इज़ द फॉरेन मिनिस्टर, तो उनको पूरा नाम नहीं याद था. तो ऐसी सारी चीज़ें नहीं होनी चाहिए. इफ़ यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट एन आंसर तभी आप बोलें कि हाँ आपको इस सब्जेक्ट के बारे में नॉलेज है, ताकि जब आपसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएँ तो आप उसका रिस्पॉन्स अच्छे से दे पाए. दूसरी चीज़ है कि एक बायोलॉजी का क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था जिसमें रिस्पॉन्सेज गलत थे माइटोसिस और म्यूसिस के डिफरेंस में, दे वर नॉट अप टू द मार्क. तो उसमें अगर आप अपफ्रंट बोल देंगे कि यू आर नॉट वेरी श्योर अबाउट दिस आंसर बट हियर इज माई रिस्पॉन्स, तो उससे क्या होगा कि इंटरव्यूअर को पहले से पता चल जाएगा कि बच्चे को पूरी तरह से आंसर नहीं आता बट ही और शी इज स्टिल ट्राइंग टू आंसर. तो बस ये रिस्पॉन्स आएगा. बाकी ओवरऑल द इंटरव्यू वॉज गुड.
और भाई मज़ा आया. तो देखो फीडबैक इन दोनों से तुम्हें पता चल गया. मेरा फीडबैक ये था कि अवॉइड यूजिंग सम पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज नेम, क्योंकि तुमको पता नहीं है कि पैनलिस्ट सामने में क्या सोच रहे हो, उनका आइडियोलॉजी क्या है. ठीक है. और अगर बोल भी रहे हो तुम्हारे पास एक प्रॉपर बैकिंग होनी चाहिए. ठीक है. तो तुमने जैसे देखा अभी इंटरव्यू में उन्होंने अपना ओपिनियन रखा इंटरव्यू में, बट वो उसको बैक नहीं कर पाई. तो इस चीज़ का ध्यान रखना. दूसरी चीज़ उनका बेसिक्स थी, फिजिक्स की चीज़ थी, फैराडेज लॉ उन्होंने बता दिया, न्यूटन्स बता दिया, बट उसका इक्वेशन नहीं बता पाए. तो ध्यान रखना कि ये जो फिजिक्स में इक्वेशंस ये सारे हैं वो तुम अच्छे से कर लो. ठीक है. और हाँ, मज़ा आया होगा इंटरव्यू में. डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी अभी एक आ रहा है हमारा, उसको सब्सक्राइब कर लेना. PDF अटैच कर देंगे कमेंट में नीचे, तो उसको देख लेना. ठीक है. एंड मॉक इंटरव्यूज़ लो. ऐसे ही मॉक इंटरव्यूज़ अगर तुम्हें चाहिए तो www.kudostudy.com. ठीक है. उस पर जाना और पैकेज ले लेना. ठीक है. ऑल द बेस्ट. बाय बाय. सी यू.